Hey, we're talking 5 things to eliminate from your life right now. Welcome to the Live in Relationship Revolution. This is our Thursday training, and I know I wasn't here last week. It was Remembrance Day last week, and kind of life just gets carried away, but I'm here today, and we're going to talk about the 5 to get rid of. So I am a little early. Typically, I come on at 1 o'clock, but I am going to be having a massage at that time. And so rather than wait until later, I thought I'd come on early. That way, when you come here at 1 o'clock, if you're looking, it's ready for you to consume. Today, we're going to go backwards from 5 down to 1. Number 5 on my top 5 things to get rid of and eliminate in your life. And okay, first of all, we should ask, why are we doing this? That's to get us back to the happy, get us back to the joy, put the fun back into life. We have far too much stress and anxiety with conflict. And so let's try to get rid of some of the things that are causing us conflict. So number 5 is instant gratification. And in terms of conflict, that's the expectation that things will change overnight. They don't. They do take time. You can shift the direction of a relationship in an instant with how you show up, but the work, the repetition, the continually showing up and doing the thing you need to do takes time. And while we can have massive shifts in moments, that ongoing success is going to be as a result of putting in the work moment to moment, day to day. So instant gratification, poof, let's get rid of that, because all that's going to do is create us more reason to be frustrated and to give up because we're not seeing change right away. And I hear this a lot. Someone will say, well, listen, I didn't complain about the dishes last night. You should be happy. That's instant. We expect that if I stop something, they should immediately change how they think, feel, and react. But it is a slow burn. Takes some time. So we're going to get rid of instant gratification and start to focus more on the practical, everyday things we can do. Yes, I'm just looking at my notes to see if there's anything else I wanted to share about instant gratification. You want to do the work now so your future self can continue to reap the rewards. Now, if you think about this in terms of anything you have learned, whether that's tying shoes, as we've talked about before, or maybe you're an artist, you paint, or you are an athlete and you perform, there's a lot of practice that goes into preparing for the game or preparing for the moment. It's the same here as well. We're continually practicing and implementing. That's number 5. Instant gratification, remove it from your life right now. Focus on the long game. We need to be okay with delayed gratification. Okay. Number 4 is overthinking failures. We are so good at taking a moment of failure and stretching that out beyond its lifetime. Let me give you an example. As a nurse, when I worked 12-hour shifts, I could do 11 hours and 59 minutes of fantastic, great work where I felt like I was contributing and really adding value to the patient's experience. And in 1 minute, maybe even less, one moment, somebody complained about I wasn't there fast enough or I forgot to do something. And I will let that moment sit inside and reside in me, and I will carry that for days, weeks, months. Overthinking a failure instead of constantly connecting to the successes. They say it takes, I forget what the actual number is, 100 times more positive to override a negative. We do that to ourselves when we take our failures and we overthink them and we overemphasize them and we give them far too much bandwidth than they deserve. So we need to stop overthinking failures and instead ask how we can replicate success, right? So when you think of that 11 hours and 59 minutes where you did great stuff, there's a lot of good moments in there to look at and to identify frameworks and processes that worked really well, to identify what didn't work well here, and then to implement a new strategy the next time it comes up. So start focusing on the successes in life and pay attention to the failures, absolutely, but let's not give them more bandwidth and more time and more space than they deserve. Let's take the lesson, take the learning, find a new thing that we can implement, and then move on. Appreciate it, respect it, give it its due. Like that lesson was there for a reason. Move on. So let's get rid of overthinking failures. Number 3, stop comparing yourself to others. When we do that, we tend to be comparing ourselves to others who are ahead of us, where we want to be. And then that emphasizes our failures, our weaknesses, our limitations, which can prevent and halt any forward movement. This is one of the first things that can rob you from joy and happiness, is by looking at where they are and becoming jealous. So we want to eliminate jealousy. And I know that's so hard to do. I struggle with it sometimes too, even within my friendships and the people who I want in my circle that I want to be mentored from, and those that I help mentor. Sometimes when they have a success and I feel like I haven't achieved as much success in that day, I'm celebrating them, but I'm also feeling a little jealous. And so comparing myself to them and recognizing that they're doing different things, they're working in different areas, they're changing the lives of people in a very different and unique way, is nothing compared to what I am doing. I am also working and moving and creating change in people's lives, and I'm being a catalyst for their successes in ways that they cannot be. And so celebrating without the jealousy. If we compare, we can eliminate that, then you go from like that mindset of having less to an abundance mindset. And you can shift into, what am I creating and how am I moving forward? And there is enough for all of us. So celebrate the growth, celebrate the happiness, celebrate their successes without the need to compare where you are. Because let me tell you, some days that just makes me spin. I could sit in this office for hours and consume content on how to do Facebook better, or how to do Twitter better, or how to do Instagram, or even TikTok, and thinking social media, because that's what's been on my brain today. But even how can I do my relationship better? How can I be a better business person? All those things I can think about that consume my time, my energy. And then at the end of the day, I'm nowhere, because all I did was sit and compare myself and look at my failures and deficits and try to find a solution when the solution wasn't needed. I just needed to get back into my work. That's number 3. So we're going to get rid of instant gratification. Let me know in the comments below. Has instant gratification derailed your attempts to continue to move forward on a project or a passion? Has overthinking your failures consumed you for far too long and has had way more bandwidth in your life than it deserved? Like it's actually sucked the joy out of your life? You weren't able to see all the abundance you had? And are you one of those people that compare yourself to others and then focus on your limitations so much so that you become paralyzed and you can't move forward? I feel a sneeze coming on. Excuse me. Oh, and there's no hand washing here, so I'll wash my hands after, just in case you're wondering. So yeah, share below. Let me know if any of those 3 so far are resonating with you, because I have certainly had them all work through my life and halt me at different ways. The second thing, that's number 2 on the top 5 list, we're working our way backwards, is to get rid of these kind of go together. Bad places. We're going to do it first. Bad places. If you're doing things, going places where it's not healthy for you, and some of the examples here are like, maybe you're wanting to lose weight, but you always go to McDonald's. Stop going to McDonald's, because you know you're not going to lose weight. It's a personal story. That's why I'm going there. Okay. Also stop eating cookies. Stop like binging at nighttime. Whatever it is that you do, you want to stop going to those places that are harming you and making your environment not successful. We want to eliminate, and these can be even places in your mind, right? So it doesn't have to be a physical place like McDonald's and weight loss. It may be that you're going out every night with your friends and your spouse at home is saying, hey, like, I miss you. Why am I not invited? Or when is our time? If going out with your friends every night is the problem, stop going out every night and collaborate and come up with a new plan, right? And then the last thing to get rid of, number 1, is bad people. Get rid of the bad people in your life, those that are toxic. I mean, I have just gone through a cleansing of my own in this last year, because they don't promote you. They don't grow you. They don't celebrate you. And for some reason, we cling on to them as if they validate us somehow. And all they're validating is really our unworthiness, right? They're harmful to us in the long run. And so I've been systematically removing people from my lives who were not adding to it. But I also recognize I personally had a tendency to gather those people and keep them close as if I had some sort of insight as to what they were going to do next and I could plan and be a step ahead of them. But I can tell you that was exhausting. It really sucked the joy out of my life because when I stopped to look around, all the people that I was connecting with on a more regular basis were quote unquote my enemies, the bad people, the ones who I actually were only having in my life because I wanted to keep tabs on them so that I could preserve myself. And in fact, what was happening was just the opposite. I had lost myself. I had lost my joy because I had to have all this negative energy so close. Release it. Get rid of the bad people. The bad people are not there to celebrate you. And the validation that you may be thinking you're getting from them is that they're validating a part of you where you feel the weakness. And you can validate and build that up in other ways, right? So this may be a friendship that's toxic. This may be a business relationship, or it may be a community or family relationship that you feel obligated to stay in, or that you have created an obligation to stay in to somehow benefit you. Find out if the benefit is a positive or a negative. If the benefit is taking away from your joy and your happiness, maybe it's a short-term benefit you're anticipating, but it ends up being long-term harm. Start to systematically identify and remove those people in your lives who are creating harm. And you will start to feel more joy. I know immediately the moment I started to tell people, you know what, this relationship is something I'm no longer interested in. For whatever reason, my parameters, my boundaries, these are them, and this is not feeling good anymore. I felt immediately better. That's why it's number one. Get rid of those bad people. Okay, let's recap. Instant gratification. You're in it for the long game. We need to practice. We need to show up. Nothing's going to change overnight. We can make massive shifts, but we've got to be consistent in our practice. Number 4, stop overthinking failures. Give them their due, honor them, take the lesson, move on, right? Thank you for teaching me, because if you don't, if you overthink them and they stay in your lives, guess what? They're going to show up again and again and again until you take the lesson. Number 3, stop comparing yourself to others. Celebrate them, honor them, recognize they're on a different journey than you, and then get back to work. Get to doing what you need to do to go where you want to go. So let their successes motivate you to continue moving forward. Number 2, get rid of bad places. Don't go to those places that are making things hard for you. They don't support you in your growth. They are not going to escalate. They're not going to elevate you. They're not going to get you where you want to go faster. In fact, they're going to slow you down and cause more troubles. And then last one, bad people. If you think they're validating you, but they're actually causing you some stress and strain, they're probably not people you want close by. So, bye-bye. That's it for today. Short and sweet. 13 minutes and change. So make sure you're commenting below. Let me know if any of those 5 resonate with you and how you are starting to systematically identify them and put new boundaries, move them farther away from you so that the stuff that's closest to you is nothing but encouragement and lifting you up and celebrating you and holding you when you cry and putting you back on the path and keeping you steady. That's what we're hoping for. Until next time, guys, make it a great day.